The road up Buffalo Creek is a lot smoother and straighter than it was back in '72. Apart from the memorial signs, there's little to suggest anything bad ever happened here. And while the scars have faded from the landscape,
the flood changed a lot of us as far as, staying in the area. I left after graduation. I don't think it really had nothing to do with the flood, but just it was kind of nice to get away from, to be honest with you, and move somewhere else. Because of all the pain and everything we went through in the area, it was a painful thing, and a lot of people who didn't go through it, we felt like everybody else didn't understand.
Even years after it was all said and done, every time we get a lot of rain for a long period of time, everybody got really nervous and jumpy. Even though we were told there's no way that was gonna happen again, there was no way they could do that legally anymore. But when you go through something like that and you see what it caused and all the damage and the destruction that it caused, it makes you a little jumpy when you know that it's done rained for days. What if this happens again, I didn't know, only person, I knew one lady, she was a teacher. Her and her husband had gotten out of their house, but they went back to go get a pet, and they didn't come back. They didn't make it out. That was the only person that I knew personally that had perished out of all the people that did. So, it took a long time. It took a long time.
I've got a sister and a sister-in-law that still live in Green Valley. And, like on Christmas or holidays, I might drive to Green Valley to see them. But no, I don't go to Buffalo Creek. Not that I have anything, there's just no purpose to it.
We stayed there and I graduated from school there. So I seen all the changes. New road, city water, city sewage, all that was changed by the flood, when the flood came. It's a completely different area than what it was back in the 70s, and it changed a lot of people. Some people left, a lot of people didn't stay, because of it, and we stayed through it, and I think back on it, there's a lot of people that I never seen again after the flood, the kids I grew up with and things like that. So it changed a lot of lives. And the flood itself was one of those things which, just stays with you, and I think as far as, it changing me, it made me appreciate life a lot more.
People can have disagreements, but when something happens down home, people's there to help. If somebody's house is damaged in one way or a fire or whatever, there's people who reach out and help you. And when someone passes, you better get ready because food's coming to your house. The people just really put their arm around each other. It's a tight community. And again, I'm proud from being from Buffalo Creek, little community of Lundale.
A lot of laws have been changed because of the Buffalo Creek flood. A lot of things have made better because of the Buffalo Creek. You lost a lot of lives, but the laws we got today, most of those come on impoundments and things because of the Buffalo Creek flood, because of what happened. And when I go out and do enforcement and everything, I think about that all the time. People died, so we would have these laws. And what they did at that time was no different than anybody else. It caught up. It caught up with them, and that's why I tell people every day now, these laws are for a reason. The reason, and that's why, the flood, the UBB, all these things that's happened, there's reasons for those things. There's a reason for the laws we got, and usually there's a death attached to it. I'm really thankful, to God for, getting me through the flood. My family didn't lose anybody, and I think about it all the time that, it could have been one of us. One of us could have not made it out.
I think it made everybody take stock in what was really important to them. And I think it made the community realize how much we need each other. And I think that for a lot of people that went through it, they couldn't stay there. It was so traumatizing to them that they left and they never came back. But for the ones who stayed, I think it brought us all a lot closer to each other to actually make sure we all look out for one another. And that's why I brought my kids back, to raise them there. Those who lost family members was in worse shape than the ones who didn't, but you could always find someone willing to lend you a hand or listen to you, just talk, you know, anytime you need it. And that's the community that I will always call home. Because no matter where I live, no matter where I go, that will always be home. And my children, it's home for them, and that's what they call it, home. You know, so it's been enlightening to know that you can go through a trauma and come out and be a better person once it's said and done. Because all the blessings that you get to get through it, it's the same blessings that carries you forward.